move. We move from the agenda, no?
Tab O was continued to the next.
Tam R?
Oh, R is
Oh,
in
okay.
Ralph?
Okay, yes,
Oh, sorry.
Ralph. No?
No,
Okay,
there's
so
no R.
public hearing. Oh, you're back.
It's okay.
We're in public hearing, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, public hearing is now open. Anyone wishes to speak on
Tab on.
double close it? Okay, no one comes. Once, two. Okay, public hearing is now closed.
Question? Thank you, Madam Mayor. Welcome back.
Thank you.
That's been nice. Did I do a bad job?
No,
Scott?
you
What
did
is
an
this?
outstanding job.
Wonderful.
I would give you a high five, but you're not next to me anymore. So
I know, right?
High five.
We really need to.
Go ahead.
A $300,000 contract on sidewalks. A question was posed to me this week whether this means that asphalt will replace cement sidewalks. I didn't know how to answer that question. What does Tab R allow us to do in layman's terms?
Through the mayor, councilman, Tab R is for resurfacing streets and alleyways and other public right-of-ways. It does not deal with sidewalks.
Okay, cool. So this is just taking $300,000 that we, $300,000 that we had set aside in this year's budget and just moving it forward to pave some streets and pave some alleyways and things like that.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
No, go ahead. Somebody need to move it. I don't think anybody moved it yet.
Do I hear a motion?
Move approval of Tab R.
I second it.
Anybody wish to record a nay? Item pass. 5-1.
Tab S.
Madam
Tab S.
Clerk.
An ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of North Miami entitled Administration, specifically at Article 3, Division 2, entitled Board of Trustees of the North Miami Museum of Contemporary Art, MoCA, by amending Section 2-61 entitled Organization, Term of Office, to allow the MoCA Board of Trustees to determine the maximum number of members serving on the board in lieu of the current maximum of 30 board members, providing for conflict, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Do I hear a motion? Any discussion?
I move the
Second.
ordinance.
Second for Tab S.
Anybody wishes to record a nay?
I think it's public hearing. This,
Public
yes,
hearing
madam.
on this?
Yes, madam.
Public hearing. Public hearing? Anybody wishes to speak on this? No. Public hearing is now closed. Anybody wishes to record a nay?
Roll call. Roll call. It's an ordinance.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Councilwoman Keys?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sterrell?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin?
Yes.
Mayor Tundro?
Yes.
Councilman Bianame?
Yes.
Ordinance passes 5-0.
5-0.
Tab T, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 19 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances entitled Utilities, specifically at Article 3, Division 3, entitled Backflow Prevention, by amending Section 19-80 entitled Installation of Backflow Prevention Devices, Permit Procedure, Section 19-81 entitled Inspections, and the inclusion of a new Section 1983 entitled Enforcement, to allow City of North Miami approved and licensed contractors to perform installations, inspections, and certifications of backflow prevention devices required in the Cross-Connection Control Program in accordance with local government permitting requirements, the U.S. Safe Drinking Water Act, and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, providing for conflicts, repeal, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Move approval.
Any second?
Second.
We have some questions.
Second
You don't
for
have
question.
public
We
hearing?
should open public hearing.
We can.
Okay.
Ooh, fast.
It's okay.
I'll withdraw my motion to approve.
But we can approve in second and then open
and then
hearing.
open the public hearing. It's okay.
Either way.
Public hearing is now open. Public hearing is closed. Discussion?
Is this, Mr. Ghani, this backflow ordinance is only for second water meters?
Through the mayor, councilwoman Keys, no. Every business and every residential unit has a backflow device. It's required by law. Once a year, it's required that the backflow devices be inspected. And upon inspection, if they detect that there is an issue with the backflow device, it must be repaired according to regulatory law. What this item does is allow the city, because of the amount of backflow devices that we do have, commercial and residential, to bring on contractors to inspect according to regulatory agencies and make those repairs as necessary.
So for the first time now, are the residents, and I know the business owners, are now being charged to do this? So this is a new charge to the owners and business owners?
The backflow devices is a part of their system. So it's required that if there is a problem with their backflow device that they install, if there's a problem with it, yes, it's their financial responsibility to repair it, like any other line.
But we're having to do inspections.
It's required that we inspect it to protect our system so that,
Who's we?
No, it's
I'm sorry?
Who's we?
The city. The city is required, everybody is required by regulatory law to have their backflow device inspected to make sure that it's adequately working so that nothing backflows into the system to contaminate our water.
So, I mean, I've got people calling me, there were different backflow issues, I've got businesses. So, do all the residents and all the businesses now have to pay a contractor to inspect their backflow devices
No, the inspection is done by the city.
by the city?
They get a notice to inform them that it's time for their backflow device to be inspected. Once it's inspected, if there's any issues, then it's their responsibility to make the repair.
So we're not going to impose new charges. People don't have to now all of a sudden have to go out and get their backflows inspected.
I believe that's the case, am I right, Mr. Ghani? Is the inspection on us, or is it regulatory mandated by the?
No, well, actually, it is a certification of your backflow, and all irrigation systems within or that is connected to the city's domestic supply must, by DEP's requirement and county requirement, must have a certified backflow in the system. This ordinance before you, what it is, it's for an approved tester to come in and do the testing of the backflows
Of whose expense?
at the expense of the property owner.
So it's the expense, the answer to your question is the expense of the property owner?
what
According to
the
DEP.
inspection?
I'm
The
sorry?
inspection or the fixing of the
The
backflow?
inspection.
Inspections, yes.
So now, is this going to be all property owners? Is this only going to be for second meter
Only-
irrigation owners?
Only those meters that are connected to the irrigation system by law must be connected to a backflow device.
Okay, that's what I originally asked.
Yes.
So now the people who own second water meters, in addition to paying a base, which is being contested, which I am, and being charged 3 times the amount for their water, now have a third charge that nobody else has charged, because now they have to go out and pay for an inspection.
Well, it's two separate items.
But it's a third item for these people
The-
only.
Madam Mayor, if I can just clarify, I am certified in the matter. The reason even you need to understand, under the county law and the state law, every commercial property that is connected to the water supplied from North Miami, each one and every one of them, they are required to have a backflow preventer. The backflow preventer is a separator from the line going into your property to the water supply line that we are drinking. You're going to hear from your constituents, because starting from now, according to state law, there are a number of buildings in the city that do not have a backflow installed. They are now required under county and state law to install a backflow as required by law. What we're doing here is just getting in compliance with county and state law and EPA, demanding that those property owner that does not have a backflow they are required to have a backflow installed. And on top of that, this ordinance is because when you install a backflow, because you hire a plumbing contractor to come in and install a backflow if you didn't have one, you also need to have an individual that is certified to check the calibration of that backflow. What this ordinance seeks to do is to pre-qualify a number of qualified contractors who are qualified as a backflow preventer certifier. You will have a list just like the county have. When someone install a backflow, you provide the name of the pre-approved contractors to the property owner so that contractor can call one of these individuals to go and check, to calibrate, and make sure that backflow preventer is working properly. This is what this ordinance is about. It's not about North Miami. It's about North Miami getting in compliance with state and county law. You're going to hear from your client or from your constituents, because every commercial building, not residential, unless it's a multifamily, every major commercial building, every irrigation system connected to our system will have to have a backflow preventer preventing them from backflow their liquid into our water supply, because that way they can kill all of us with their own contaminants. The backflow will prevent any water from the building to the water line.
Thank you, Mayor. We need to move on. Very good. Thank you, sir.
I have a question, since public hearings seem to have been reopened. Rosalind Philippe, 12205 Northeast Miami Court.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
public hearing did not reopen.
Well, you allowed the mayor, so
We work for the city.
They work for the city, and he was just clarifying for Councilwoman, and we would like
well,
to keep it
it wasn't
closed.
specified, but I
Would
do
you
have a
mind, Madam
question.
Phillips? We would
If
like
you-
to keep it closed if you don't mind. Thank you.
So,
We need to move on.
so the commercial properties, because my first question really didn't get answered. So the commercial property owners now have to go out and do an inspection on their own. with
A
one of your
certification and
approved-
inspection, that's correct.
And homeowners, only homeowners with irrigation.
With an irrigation meter. Again, as the mayor said earlier, anything that will prevent a cross connection, that is a contamination of the potable water supply system, this device prevents contamination of our water supply system. It's a state mandate, and we are just complying with the regulation.
Can't the city do that? I mean, I don't even mind a $25 charge for the homeowners. I mean, I don't think that's major, but having to go out and do it, I mean, I see you
Councilwoman,
crossed out language that the city was doing it. Why can't the city continue to do it and just do a minimal charge?
actually, the ordinance reads city and approved tester or an approved contractor.
They crossed out, you crossed out city.
It's both. Actually, it's both. The ordinance reads both.
No, actually, it's not. The annual inspection shall be performed by, cross out, the city, by a validly licensed contractor. And
That's right.
when they're notified by the city or the contractor, and it takes out, and the city shall perform the backflow. So the city's not doing it anymore. And I just think you're putting a double burden on people. People are getting notices. It's like, what is this? All of a sudden, they've got to go out and do it. I'd rather see the city take care of it. And if you have to do a nominal charge for it, fine. But you're putting burdens on people that just don't have any clue. I mean, if I get that in the mail, that I have to start going out, finding a contractor, arranging for an inspection, I just think that's like kind of a bit much.
Again, keep in mind any regulatory mandates on the utility. In order to comply, we must have an approved tester, whether it's the city or an approved
So
contractor.
let the city take care of it for our citizens,
Well,
not put a burden on them.
So if the city, for example, has a validly licensed contractor, this does not preclude the validly licensed
That's what I was-
contractor from issuing the inspection. You see that? It doesn't preclude a contractor, because the person who does the inspection has to have a license and
I
has to
understand.
be.
But it's taking out the burden from the city, and it's making, people are going to be getting notice. I don't want to be labor. People are going to be getting notices. Hey, you have to go out and get an inspection, and people don't want to have to do that. That's like,
So
I don't
it sounds like what you're suggesting is
Let the
you
city
don't
do
want
it.
to have a contractor, you want the city to.
No, let the city have their contractor go out and take care of business for the citizens. Don't put another burden. If you got to charge them $25, fine.
So does that mean, Madam Keys, that you would like to make an amendment to tab T?
Madam Mayor,
Can you?
before you move on to that process, I just may I? Thank you so much. I just want to remind Councilwoman Keys, you're no longer the constituent, but you have a city and a budget to think about as well, because the budget season is coming soon. I know as a resident, which I am too, the only thing that I have to concern about is what the city can do for me. But right now, you have to be concerned about what we can do for the constituent in two ways: the service that we're providing them, but we have to be fiscally responsible in order for us to provide the services.
I said charge the customers. I'm not asking to do it for free.
Oh, that's not what I was hearing. But if we're gonna charge them instead of us doing it, and then we have a licensed contractors doing it, it's the same thing. But the city has to be. Hold on, I'm seeing a lot of.
Can I address her
Go ahead.
concern? It sounded like your concern is you don't want, as a resident, to have to go out and find a
Correct.
contractor.
Right.
Okay, so the city provides a list of contractors.
That's
I don't
correct.
know how many people
No,
are on
not
this list,
provide a
but they
list.
provide you a list of contractors, so there's no seeking a contractor.
Well,
There's
no,
already they've already
I'd rather the
pre-approved.
city just go do it, or give them the choice. You can go out and get your own contractor, or we'll do it and charge you $25.
That's a
Councilwoman,
lot of liabilities for the city.
That is.
But they're providing you the contractors, so you don't have to go search for a
But you
contractor.
still have to call them and order it, and then pay them and pay a bill.
Madam
But
Keys.
you would have to pay regardless.
I think we're pushing it too far.
No, I don't. I don't.
If the city is providing you a list of contractors where you can pick and choose, next thing you know, if you want the city to take those responsibilities and something goes wrong, you will be the first one to complain. This is what happened. It is, I think, responsible for us as residents to go ahead with the list they are going to provide us. We choose our contractor and call a couple of them and have them give you an estimate.
Madam Mayor, the problem is it's
No,
illegal.
I'm sorry, Mr. Celestin. Either public hearing is reopened or it's not. We
I
can't
agree.
keep this. I have several questions,
Yes. Okay.
Madam Mayor.
Go ahead, Mr. Galvin.
All
What
right.
were you saying?
The contractors that we keep referencing,
yes.
do we have any already, or are we going to bid this out?
The list of approved contractors, we have an ongoing list that we have right now.
How many vendors are on that contractor list?
I will have to check to give you an.
Approximately?
I have a minimum of 25 certified plumbers, but not all plumbers by state law are certified to do backflow testing. You can be a plumber, but you must have the backflow certification to do the backflow testing. But not all plumbers can do it.
If I was to, and I'm coming at you from the point of view from a homeowner, if I was to ask a contractor to come out, perform the inspection is they have to install the backflow device, approximately how much money does that backflow device cost?
It all depends on the size of the backflow device. On an irrigation system for a residential, you're talking about a 3/4 inch or probably a 1 inch. That will run you anywhere from about $200 with the certification and installation.
Okay. For a commercial establishment, how high could that backflow device run?
We have backflows in our system that will go all the way up to about 12 inches. FIU has 4 12-inch backflows,
Right.
and they can run you up to $80,000.
But certainly that's the rare exception, the $80,000.
Correct.
What is the average commercial?
The average price would be around a $400 range.
Okay, so our inspectors are going to go out, our contractors are going to go out and perform an inspection at the cost of approximately $25. And for those that don't already have the backflow device, for residences, it's going to cost approximately $200. For commercial establishments, approximately $400.
One point of clarification. Most of the backflows are in the system already. So what they are doing is actually certifying the device.
Oh, okay.
When you say most of them are in the system already, is that most of them commercially or most of them residential?
Commercially and residential.
Okay.
You would not get a a notice. You will get a notice in the mail stating that your backflow device has expired because it has a 1-year certification. Based on that letter, you will call one of the approved vendors or one of the approved testers to get your backflow device certified, and that's it.
We had a lot of discussion under the past council about second water meters. People who had irrigation meters put in for the purpose of sprinklers back in the day when our water rates were different, and back then it saved them money. Now it costs them money. So now this question is on behalf of those people who have second water meters for their sprinklers.
Right.
Are they going to have to put a backflow device on those meters?
All irrigation meters for residential
Yes.
presently have a backflow device connected to them. If they do not, they are not in compliance.
Okay, I'm confused. Please make it simple for me.
Okay.
There are approximately 400 400 residential users, as from memory, 400
Right.
residential users that have second water meters for their sprinklers.
Irrigation meters, yes.
So of those 400 residences, how many of them are now going to have to pay $200 approximately for a backflow device?
Unless there's no backflow device connected to that meter, then they will have to pay for it. There should be, every one of those meters should have a backflow device connected to them.
Is there any way, if we were to continue this for 2 weeks, is there any way that you could go out and study that? Because I get where we're coming from, that we need to protect our water supply. I just don't want to blindside a lot of residents with a new $200
Mr.
bill.
Galvin, I understand very well what he's saying. All houses, including commercial buildings, must have it already installed. If they don't have it, they are not in compliance. Is that correct?
That is perfectly
Therefore, most of those houses in the city of North Miami, they are only going to have an upgrading or updated one.
They must
And
be tested annually. There's an
Okay.
annual test.
And that's it. Nobody's talking about installing new device or anything, because all houses are supposed to have those devices already.
So are you confidently telling me today that I'm not going to get my phone line blown up tomorrow by people who say, I had this, and most of these people who had these second water meters put in, it was done in the 70s, before any of the homeowners owned the homes. I mean, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Are they going to, I don't want people who inherited second water meters,
Right.
who've been paying it all these years, to suddenly have to pay extra money.
Point taken. All they have to do is to actually pay for a certification. That certification could run you anywhere from, depending on the certified tester that you get, from $50 to $100. That's it. Unless there's no devices in the system. There have been, I brought to this council about a year ago, where there have been over 300 devices stolen.
Right. Commercially, they would get ripped
Correct.
off. And I heard from a lot of commercial people saying, it's not my fault, I'm getting ripped off by thieves. And I don't want to
So
create
is
more
it the
heartache for them,
cities?
too.
Again, it's a burden.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
He's
No.
talking about
It's a burden on the utility. For the number of devices that are stolen, in
Right.
order for the utility to be compliant, we must enforce a backflow ordinance, which is a DEP, state of Florida, and a local ordinance, for us to be compliant as a utility.
Okay, Madam Keys, would you like to make a friendly amendment to this to ensure that the city will provide a list of contractors to the residents so they can choose and pick which one they want to go ahead and inspect their
I believe the resolution
water flow.
already gives the citizens the
You're
list.
right.
What I want to do, because we're also talking an annual inspection. So for the little old lady who's 80 years old and just barely living there by herself, and she gets this letter, now she's got to like figure out what this means, that she's got to go out and get something inspected and then pay for it. Please, I would like to make a friendly amendment to your resolution that the city takes care of it and just bills the client a minimum
No.
charge.
Any,
Listen.
hold on. Any second.
I'll second that.
No. Anybody wishes to?
If
Go ahead, Madam Attorney.
I don't want to interrupt you, but if I could just research the issue of whether that's allowable in terms of the city doing it versus through an independent licensed contractor, if you would allow me to
I
do
would
that.
withdraw my motion and make a motion to continue this till the next meeting.
Okay.
All right.
If that's, if that's the only issue on the table, I'd be happy to get
I'll-
back with you.
I'll second the motion to continue for 2 weeks.
Discussion? Anybody wish to vote on it? Anybody wish to record a no? Nay? Anybody wish to record a nay? No, item passed, 5-0.
Who are we? First, have you?
You.
An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, amending chapter 13 of the city of North Miami Code of Ordinances entitled Offenses, specifically Article 4 entitled Dangerous Intersection Safety, to reflect recent legislative changes to the Mark Wandel Traffic Safety Program Act as provided by chapter 2013-160 Laws of Florida, and authorizing local hearings for notices of violations connected with the use of the red light cameras as traffic infraction detectors, providing for repeal, conflict, severability, codification, reservation of rights, and an effective date.
So we needed to pass a resolution to repeal your previous resolution. This is the ordinance. You currently have an ordinance in your code that addresses your current red light program. Because there is an ordinance, we have to amend the ordinance to conform with the state law. So there needed to be both a resolution and several other resolutions, as you saw, plus an ordinance. So they're separate issues, but they do essentially the same
I'll
thing.
second.
Madam Mayor? I know I'm flogging the horse, but I just want to be on record again in establishing that if this passes right now, well, if it passes in 2 weeks on second reading, but if it passes now and then on second reading, our police department will be empowered to write right turn on red light tickets.
Where did you see that, Mr. Galvin?
It's okay, that's his comment.
It was on your comment.
If I'm incorrect,
Mr. Galvin, can we move on? Do you wish to record a nay, Mr. Galvin, on this? We need to finish.
Public hearing.
We don't have a public hearing?
there should be public hearing on an ordinance, but I do
Maybe not.
hope that staff will set me straight if I'm wrong.
We just had a 2-hour discussion
I know.
on almost the same item.
May I have
It
one?
is the exact same item, and I know I'm flogging the horse. But staff, please correct me. As of now, we cannot write red light tickets. If this passes on, right turn on red tickets. If this passes now and in 2 weeks, will we be able to write right turn on red tickets?
As previously stated, Councilman, our comments is as previously stated.
So that was a yes. Is that yes or no?
This is the same law that the states.
According to what has been enacted by the state of Florida.
That's yes?
I would rather say that we will be going with what has been enacted by the state of Florida.
Which is?
Red light cameras will be issued on certain conditions. When there's people in the crosswalk and you're making a right turn on red
Without stopping.
and there's somebody in the crosswalk, you will get a ticket. If it looks like you're going to cause an accident, you would get a ticket. If you want to indicate on record that you want the city not to write a red ticket when somebody's in the crosswalk, I understand that and I respect that.
Thank you for trying to put words in my mouth, but those were my words. My question is, let's see if I can get a one-word yes or no from you, sir. If this passes tonight and again in 2 weeks, will the city now be empowered to write right turn on red tickets?
If someone is in the crosswalk.
Yes or no, sir,
and if
please.
they
Only
cause
for
Yes or no?
pedestrian. I'm down
Yes
understanding.
or no?
You're
Yes or
trying
no?
to say a yes if there's a pedestrian crossing and you're making a
or
right
causing an
turn without a
accident,
stop.
yes, you will get a ticket.
All right, thank you very much.
May I ask one question before you?
Sure.
I'm sorry. Madam Attorney, just on paragraph 13-39, you crossed out the signage language. Is that been crossed out in the state statute also? Because I know some people would like to see, like a warning, you've got a traffic light camera. And I think that, we're not trying to trap people. I think we should warn people.
So if you
1339.
I understand
Okay.
that. What this ordinance does is implement the entire state law. So we are tracking the state law. So rather than having an ordinance every 2 years when the state law decides they want to change, we're going to change right along with it. What we've done is just say that we are adhering to the state law.
So does the state law?
Yes, and
provide
there
for
are
signage?
signs. You have to have a warning sign
Okay.
that says.
Thank you.
Yes. Public hearing? You want to open public hearing? Anybody wishes to speak?
Am I allowed now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, again, Rosalind Philippe, 12205 Northeast Miami Court. And I'm sorry that I thought that the previous item we were going to reopen. Sometime when we sit here and we listen, the questions that we have come from the discussions that you have, because I didn't have that question before. But I just wanted to say, before I move on to this specifically, as it relates to that last item, when you have homeowners such as myself, and especially women, when you're calling these different contractors or people to come do work at your home, you don't know what kind of charge or fees they're going to do, because it's just like going to mechanics, and that's how it is. They do take advantage, unfortunately, with women. So if the city can come up with maybe a list or parameters of fees for these particular inspections and what will take place, it would be helpful to the residents. On this particular item, I know we've been talking about right turn on red, but there's quite a bit of other thing that came out with the law that I read about in the newspaper, and there's a question of the $250 fees that might be tagged on if somebody decides to take this to the magistrate or whatever and they loses their case. So there will be in addition to the ticket, up to $250 extra that person would have to pay. I chose to speak on this because I was hoping that we wouldn't have to deal with this, because and let me say congratulations to you all, but during during the election, it was an item on the campaign that we said that we would take away the cameras, period. So I was hoping that with this thing, we wouldn't have to go through this discussion. This whole issue of camera would be taken care of, and North Miami wouldn't have it. So, I'm just thinking of the people, and I've had calls. And I'm not sitting on the council, but people who think that I work for the city, and they are always calling me. So this is something that I want you to think about.
Yes.
Yes.
Colleen Paul, 1348 Northeast 147th Street. I drive a lot in the city of North Miami, and I'm very concerned about the camera tickets, especially turning on right. If the state law would require, when I drive on 135th and West Dixie Highway, which is in North Miami, and I make a right on red, and a pedestrian was on the other side trying to cross, and I'm going to get a ticket, I would rather stay with the ordinance that says in North Miami, you do not have to get a ticket making a right turn on red. So as a resident, that's how I feel.
Any other? Okay, public hearing is now closed. Madam?
No, I have no questions, Madam.
No.
Mr. Bien-Aimé,
No
any
question.
question? Okay, roll call.
What is it?
Who made the
We
motion?
did,
What
we
the
did have
motion
a
is.
motion. I think that I made a motion.
She
then
made the
you
motion and I
seconded.
To do what?
Yes.
To whatever
Pass
the, yeah. Madam City Clerk, is it, that's what you, a record that I did
Yes.
make the motion and the mayor actually seconded? Okay, so is that a roll call or,
Roll call.
okay.
Councilman Galvin?
No.
Mayor Tundro?
Yes.
Councilman Bien-Aimé?
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stero?
Yes.
Ordinance passes.
Thank you.
Let the record mark that tonight is the first time in a long time that Teacher Carlene Representative Campbell and I are all on the same page.
Citizens Forum.
Citizens Forum is now open. Anybody wish to speak about?
I have Jessica that actually will speak. You can come forward, Jessica. I think that's your time right now. Jessica is the homeowners, a member of the homeowners, the Sunkist homeowners as well. Is not homeowners anymore. I think she's about to clarify the transition from the homeowners association to the neighborhood community, and we have a lot of projects that will be working for this community. So, Jessica, your chance.
Thank you. Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125th Street, Sunkist Grove. Welcome, new council members. Thank you for the privilege. We changed the name for the Sunkist Grove Homeowners Association to the Sunkist Grove Neighborhood Association. In conjunction with Councilwoman Sterrell on the July 4th, is this the time to talk about it? We want to have a cookout in celebration of our new name, and for all us to meet and greet our neighbors. All of North Miami is invited, welcome, and we're going to have activities for people of all ages, which will have fun activities, food, games, entertainment, a talent show, and prizes. Those who are interested, we're asking for volunteers and donations. You can please email Sunkist Grove at sunkistgrove sunkistgrove@gmail.com, and you'll receive further information. When we celebrate the Renaissance of Education in North Miami, the west side or Sunkist Grove was excluded. Our students were zoned for Miami Central, and we asked to receive an ordinance whereby our students would be exempt and be able to go to North Miami High, and they were not. The FCAT scores came out in 2013, and what I'm quoting you is coming from the Florida Department of Education. The source fcat.fldoe.org, which stated that of the retakers, that's the people who failed the FCAT on the 10th grade FCAT on its first taking, needed to take it over, which they had 5 times to take it before graduation. County-wide, 18% were passing. That means we're scoring above, score satisfactory and above. 18% of the retakers, that's people in the 10th grade and above, had scores satisfactory and above, which means that there's an 82% failing rate. 82% failing rate. In Miami, there's a high school here. I'm not going to name names. It's public information. You can check it. Now I'm going to talk about the reading scores of the 9th and the 10th grade. In the 9th grade, I'm going to talk about percent failing now. They interpret the scores in percent passing.
You have 1 more minute to conclude, ma'am.
Percent failing, 97% failing in the 9th grade. 92% failing in the 10th grade. It's a high school in North Miami with those rates. North Miami High School, 68% in the 9th grade failing, and the 10th grade, 64% failing. Miami Central, which is the only school the students in Sunkist Grove allowed to attend, there was an 83% failing rate in the 9th grade and a 79% failing rate in the 10th grade. You're talking about schools in the new project you're building. Please address the need for education in Sunkist Grove.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I can, if you allow me a minute to address. I know I have been working with Jessica on behalf of the Sunkist Grove. I know there's a new name. I'm not used to it. Neighborhood Association.
Yes.
It's changed from the homeowners because it was only catered to the homeowners association, which we realized that there are a lot of renters and business owners as well on 7th Avenue. Jessica and I, we're working on a project to include everybody and to encourage them to be part of that association. And again, I congratulate you for the 4th of July barbecue. I know a cookout. I know that we do have a celebration for 4th of July. It's in the evening, but this cookout will be during the daytime. And we urge all the citizens and us as council to actually, in the city as well, if you allow me, to support her with that endeavor to encourage people to come out. So I am in full support. I hope that we up here in support as well with your the project. But the school that I know Jessica is referring to, for the past years we have been talking about the school district, the boundary for the students to be part of the North Miami Senior High or the middle school, any school in the city of North Miami. Unfortunately, people that live on the west side of North Miami Avenue or 7th Avenue, 7th Avenue does not participate. Those kids are not attending North Miami schools. So I know you have been, the city manager having updates. The old council up here, we did had talked about, we're contemplating the idea of opening a charter school, which is just not even in phase 1 yet. And I'm sure the city manager have an update later on to let us know where we are right now. But we're working on it. It's an item that's very close to my heart, and I'm sure this council right now will work on your behalf and the behalf of the students in the city of North Miami. So stay tight. The city manager has an update, but it's not his turn yet.
Yes. It's fantastic news, and it's greatly needed.
No problem.
Needed. Thank you.
Citizen Forum is still open. Anybody wishes to speak?
Madam Mayor, if I ask, was something passed on this?
No, we didn't pass anything. That was just Citizens Forum. She was talking about the 4th of July cookout that I have not talked to you about yet. That I would like the city to work with her. And she was referring regarding the schools, how the kids from the school boundaries, the kids attend school here, they go to Central. So I was just telling her that you have an update regarding the charter school that we actually talked about.
And if I may, on that item about the school, it was a condition when the city voted back in 2005, 2006 to give land for the new North Miami High and the new North Miami Middle. It was a strict condition that the new boundaries for North Miami High start at Northwest 17th Avenue. So if they are not, if kids on the west side of I-95 are not going to North Miami High, the school board is in direct violation, and we need to demand that they immediately amend their boundaries to bring those kids back into our school that we gave them land for.
They've been in violation for many years.
And
many years.
Right, that is a strict condition upon them getting that land to build that school. So just
first time that
I'm hearing this.
I know that
because I was told the same thing.
Well, nobody asked me, I guess, but yeah, that's here's where the gray hair comes in handy. That was definitely because I was always. Talk about the Sunkist Homeowners Association. I was the president of it in the late 80s when it was the West Side Property Owners Association, okay? So I got some history going back over there. It was a long time, 25-year ago beef to me that my friends who lived on Northwest 12th Avenue and further west couldn't go to North Miami Senior High School and they were going to Central, whereas me on Northwest 5th, I was going to North Miami High. So that was something we brought up then. It was a strict condition mentioned on the record multiple times, and
right now it's not only just they will even if they have to address the issue of the boundary, but we still the capacity. They will tell us that they're over the capacity. So I hope that this is a discussion that we need to bring back to them regarding the boundary issues, but we still have to move on to create more school in order for us to have enough space. I'm sorry, this is still Citizens Forum, and
we have to let the citizens speak before we close this forum.
kind of zealous regarding the schools.
Are you both going to talk about the same issue?
No,
You can have
I'm
one
going to talk.
spokesperson. One spokesperson.
speaking.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Fizeme. I'm the chairman of the Haitian American Historical Society. In 4 different occasions, 4 different previous agendas, I was supposed to be in the agenda to announce to the City Council the grand opening of the first Haitian historical museum and archives in the world at 645 Northeast 127th Street in North Miami, and also ask you for your support. It never happened. But I would like you to know that the Haitian American Historical Society, as you're all aware of, built a gigantic monument in Savannah, Georgia, to commemorate the participation of our ancestors, our Haitian ancestors, who voluntarily came to this country to fight for American independence in 1779. And this monument, they call them the chasseurs volontaires de Saint-Domingue. There is a Haitian historian called them les vagabonds de la vaillance. This monument in Savannah, according to the City Council, generates over $10 million a year in Savannah, Georgia. Now, we're in the process of building the first Haitian historical museum archive over here. And we want to tell the world about us Haitians. This museum is going to reflect the Haitians, not only the Haitians, everyone, and even creed, color, nation, and that's going to generate a lot of revenue to the city. And we would like you to know about what we're doing. We don't have your support, but it's going to happen, and it needs to happen. So very shortly, this museum is going to bring the economic development. This museum will bring tourism over here, because we got a process in place that we're going to bring tourists not over from Miami, from all over, to come to the city of North Miami. So I'm not blaming anyone for not being in the agenda, not having the support, but we're going to receive an invitation to the grand opening that will happen very soon.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other citizen who wishes to speak?
I do. Again, Rosalind Philippe, 12205 Northeast Miami Court. I'm going to make this brief. Sometimes they tell me I'm not politically correct, but I always tell people I need to be consciously correct. We just had an election which was completed, and in 2 more years we will have another one. But I was very disturbed by the aspect, the whole environment of the election, because I feel it was very acrimonious. And my disappointment, and Mr. Prudhomme, you're sitting here, and I'm glad you're here because I can tell you personally, I was very disappointed in your attitude and what you say in the whole atmosphere of the whole election. Because again, for many years we have tried to put the city together. This whole business of East and West, white and black, it doesn't get us anywhere. And I'm here to say it does not help our cause when we're putting ourselves Haitians or black against white. Because I now have a brand new granddaughter, and she happens to be half white. My daughter will be marrying in November to somebody that is half white. And our own president is half white. So I don't see why we continue to put this in this whole, every time there's an election. Mayor Priemer, when he created this Community Relations Board many years ago, I was his first appointment because he felt that I could move this forward. But unfortunately, we have had individuals on that Community Relations Board who feel that they can't be strong enough to move this forward. So with this new council, maybe you should think about I guess, revamping that community relations board and appointing individuals who really will take stand and help to move this community forward. Because every 2 years, we cannot, seriously, we cannot keep going and going to the same thing. And, you know, and I would have said it right in front of you, and I'm glad you're here. I won't say it behind you. I was really disappointed because as a city staff, I don't think that you should go on radio and promote this type of thing.
Thank you, madam. Anyone else wishes to speak?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, new council member Bien-Aimé, Ms. Keys. My name is Joseph Goug. I'm a public.
Say thank you to me seriously.
Oh, Miss Celestin. Oh, okay. I'm kind of tired. We are Emmanuel Funeral Home at 14300 North Miami. We provide services to the Haitian community. This stuff that I'm hearing right now about you, Mr. Prida, I completely disagree. I think what you did was commendable. You hear me? That's commendable. Because we serve the Haitian community here, and I think you ought to continue doing what you're doing. Okay, you have my support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Election is over, guys. Come on, get over it. Let's be friendly.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Especially good evening, Madame Mayor Tandro, Bien-Aimé Keys. I just want to thank you for your service. I think you're doing a great job. Thank you, Councilman Bien-Aimé and Mrs. Tandro, for returning my call. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to serving with the entire council, and yes, you, Ms. Vice Mayor. And good evening, Mr. Galvin.
Thank you. Anyone else wishes to speak?
I apologize. Mary Irvin, 1125 Northeast 125th Street.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Tandro and Councilwoman Cowell and Councilwoman Scott, Councilwoman Murray, and Vice Mayor Council Murray Allen, and everyone. All the city staff. I'm proud to be here humbly. I just
Can you please
wanted
state
to
your name and address?
just want to let you know that I'm Zach with the Jordans, one of the leaders of this community, you know, from Seventh-day Adventist Church. I'm one of the elders. I am
Avec adresse, s'il
of
te plaît.
course, my address is 12775 Northeast and 7th Avenue. I'm having a global service business right here and a non-profit organization that will be going pretty soon. So I just want to welcome you as the new council members, and I just want to let you know that I'm supporting you here in this community.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else wishes to speak? Citizen Forum is now closed. Council reports, Councilwoman Keys.
No real reports. I would like to make a request. I don't know when the right time to do this is, but our consent agendas are way too long, and I think there's a lot of items that shouldn't be on there. But I really would like to see what our protocol, our rules are for a consent agenda. And I know other cities, if a council person wants an item to be removed for discussion because they feel that they want to vote on it individually or the public should speak on it, I think the council person should be able to pull it. So I really would like some clarification going forward on the consent agenda.
Thank you,
Otherwise,
Councilman Galvin.
Very happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And we need blankets.
Yes, we do. Councilman Galvin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, congratulations to all the newly installed officers. Welcome. It doesn't get any warmer up here, but the Councilwoman Sturl and I are certainly glad to be serving alongside all of you. I'd like to ask for more work. The city has an appointment to the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is the county board. It's like a volunteer board that deals with traffic issues and things like that. In my 14 years here, I've never served on any outside board, whether it be a county board or a League of Cities board. But coming up in the next year, there are going to be a lot of traffic issues along Biscayne Boulevard that impact my district, District 1, as we address Biscayne Landing. So even though I've got plenty to do during the work day and I don't need a whole lot more on my plate, I'd actually like to ask for the council's appointment to the Metropolitan Planning Organization so that I can be responsible to my constituents in addressing traffic issues in District 1.
Thank you. Councilman Bien-Aimé?
No, I have no report.
No report. Vice Mayor Steril?
I did have one other thing. I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Yeah, no. And if nobody wants to appoint me, my feelings won't be too badly hurt. But I do want to bring something to light that's a little bit more serious. The council members are probably not aware of a memo that I sent to the city administration about 10 days ago. I will not bring the woman's name up right now out of some respect, but about a year ago, the city gave $5,000 to an organization to produce a magazine that until just a couple of days ago had not been produced. In speaking with the manager today, he expressed to me that he believes there could be some criminal problems in place for her not having produced the task that she was paid to do. I think we should ask for our $5,000 back from this woman and or her organization. And if she does not have that money ready to turn back to us, I think the city should start law enforcement investigations, whether that be our own police department or the state attorney's office, to redeem the money. We invested taxpayer money for a magazine that did not get produced and only was produced after I started asking questions in the last week. This despite the fact that I've met with the woman that we gave the money to 3 times in the last year. I got a copy of the memo that I sent administration, but I'd ask that the staff address that, because we do definitely have potential criminal implications to somebody getting money from us that didn't produce.
Madam Mayor, you allow me. Piggyback from what Councilman Galvin just mentioned, I would like to give recommendation to staff to follow up with this, to call the lady to find out where she's at with that issue and bring it back to us as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, Vice Mayor, you have any report?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you so much. And of course, I will take this opportunity to welcome you to our dais. And I think you did a fantastic job this evening for your first meeting. So, Madam Keys, welcome to the... Oh, it's early. Welcome to the meeting. And Mr. Bien-Aimé, welcome as well. And as Scott mentioned earlier, it's my pleasure to serve the city of North Miami on behalf of my district, District 4. It is my pleasure to serve with you, Madam Mayor, Madam Keys, and Mr. Bien-Aimé. As we talked about the cookout for July 4th, we are inviting all of you to come out, and I will ask this council, well, actually, I don't have to ask permission. I will work with Jessica to have this July 4th cookout a success. I'm inviting all the residents specifically living in District 4 to take part, and also not only the homeowners but these business owners as well to take part. And I will talk to staff and have our office to contact a couple of people that businesses live on 7th Avenue or 119th Street to try to see if they can actually sponsor this event. And if any one of us up here like to sponsor, Scott, this is your old neighborhood. So we're going to ask for drinks. What are they? Drinks, chips, it's barbecue, hot dogs, hamburgers. We need a bounce house just to make it fun, a fun event during the daytime. I think it's 5 to 7, just before the other event that we have at the Bay.
Yeah, this year?
Yeah,
July 4th.
July 4th, and that will be on Sunkist Grove Community Center, which is 125 Street, Northwest 13th Avenue. I have a question for the city manager. I think it's for staff, but through the city manager. Enchanted Forest Park. what is the schedule? Because the last time I stopped by there on a Saturday, I think it was closed by 4 o'clock. Is it closed for a reason right now, or?
Madam Vice Mayor, I would have to defer to our Parks and Recreation Director.
It was closed for flooding on the day after all that rain, I know that much.
Okay.
'Cause it all came down.
Correct. Good evening, everyone. Jeff Geimer, Director of Parks and Recreation. We did have to close right after the rainstorms on the Saturday and the Sunday.
Okay.
Because the park was flooded.
But it reopen right now?
And yes, we're open sunrise to sunset 7 days a week.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. No
You're
problem.
welcome.
I just have some. I don't. For some reason, they choose to call me, but
That
I
was
said I would
that was
ask.
probably the one day
Okay, no
that
problem.
someone they chose to go there.
I reserve my other question regarding the updates for the charter school. I'm hoping that on your report that you will provide us an update. Madam Mayor, I am done, and thank you so much for chairing our meetings.
Thank you, thank you. I would like to take this a minute to thank all the residents of this great city for electing me with an overwhelming 56% majority. The people of this city, had to pick among 7 candidates for mayor. 50% of you chose me as your mayor for the next 2 years. I intend to be the mayor of all residents of North Miami during the next 2 years. Please, this is very important. We're not going to get distracted by effort to circumvent the will of the people. The voice of the people will be heard. Ça veut dire tête frette. We will not sway in our commitment to make a difference in the lives of our citizens. During the next 2 years, we will focus on building on the progress made under the leadership of the last mayor and council. My priority will, with the support of the council, of course, will be improving services to the residents, reducing our crime rate, attracting new viable businesses to our city, monitoring all constructions, ensuring promises made to the residents of this city are kept, improving the performance of our school, increasing participation in after-school program, creating a permanent home and securing funding for PAL. I've been talking about it as well during my campaign, strengthening the infrastructure of our city, installing needed streets light, supporting new social programs for our seniors. Last but not least, grabbing every opportunity that we have to appreciate the various culture that make us a strong city as we are. I'm looking forward for 2 years of hard work as we take this city to the next level. Once again, I would like to thank you all for voting for me, and I would like to welcome the new council that are with me. I hope that we are going to work together. Thank you, and good night. So, anybody has a motion to adjourn this meeting?
One question on tab W. Tab W is appointment to city boards.
Yes.
And this could take 3 hours because the way we used to do it, we go round robin and each person nominates. And may I make a request, Madam Mayor, that we each submit our nominees in writing for the meeting 2 weeks, and then we can sort of approve it as a slate. That way, we don't belabor the night by going one by one by one by one by one.
What if we?
If I may suggest one thing, there are applications in the city for people who would like to be member of the boards. Please go ahead and get your application, so that way we can fill all the vacancy after interviewing each and every one of you. Those who wants to serve in the board, please, there are applications available. Do so in order for us to go ahead and move on with this. If it's okay with you, Mr. Calvin.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to answer Councilwoman Key's question, if there's duplication, then we can sort of sort that out at the moment. There probably won't be. I'm just going to reappoint everybody that I have. That makes my life easier. So I just know from past experience, this is really, really long if we go one by one through 32 different boards. So if that's okay with the rest of the group.
I second it if it's a motion.
I just have one.
No, that's a recommendation.
I just want to bring one issue to point, to light. If this impacts the Planning Commission, we have a Planning Commission item that will be brought to the Planning Commission, which is the Spine Road. So for timeline purposes, it was our endeavor to, again, as we said, now that you passed the conceptual plan, the spine road must come before the planning commission. If we have no planning commission, that would impact the timeline.
If I might, Madam Mayor, past practice has been that if we don't have appointments in the meantime, that those who currently serve continue to serve.
Until new
and then
ones
we can-
swear in.
Right,
Okay.
and then we can swear them
If
in.
that's
so-
the case, that's fine.
Right.
That's good.
Okay.
So we will have a planning commission.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a city attorney's report? Madam Attorney, any report?
None.
None. City clerk report? Oh, city manager report.
Yes, staff is happy to, as Vice Mayor Sterl said, we have been working very hard on presenting a motion in place to put a school, a charter school. We've met with Miami-Dade County Public Schools, we've met with the Dade County Public Schools, and at the next agenda, we will be having on the agenda a approval to submit a application to the state of Florida to have a charter school. This will be a public safety academy. Our residents will be able to attend this program with the endeavor that when they graduate from high school, they will have up to 45 credits upon graduation. And then they will be able to proceed going into Miami-Dade College or another college of their choice for the program in which they entered. And Vice Mayor Sterl has been very diligent in ensuring that this takes place, and we feel that it is a very, very good endeavor that will have a very positive impact on our residents.
Okay.
As you know, Miami-Dade County is building a K through 8 new school at Benjamin Franklin. So that's going to be into place, but now they will be able to go through 9 through 12 in our area, and this is a very excellent program. This may be the first of its kind of the type of collaborative partnership that we're going to try to put together. And we're getting very positive feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Sterl, for,
My pleasure. No, thank you
for
your
that
hard
vision.
work.
Thank you all. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Yes, adjourn.
Cheers, everybody.
Meeting is adjourned.
Wow, good night, everyone.